What up, my people? Welcome to another episode of Joe Don't Know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, but I have a good general idea what I'm going to talk about today. It's an invention that I have. I have a lot of inventions. I write them down. I've been writing them down my entire life. It's something that I do in my life called capture, which is anytime I have an idea that I like, I write it down. Mostly because when I was young, I was deathly afraid of growing old without ever having amassed all of my amazing ideas and having like forgotten them. I feel like that would have been a wasted life for me. So I started capture very early on, writing everything down on notepads, and then I progressed to my phone. I had a BlackBerry. I was a BlackBerry holdout for like 5-6 years because I didn't want to abandon the keyboard because I thought that I would lose my capacity to capture. You know, these videos are actually just an extension of this desire that I have to capture. I'm not writing it, I'm filming it. So just streams of consciousness. So today's stream of consciousness is an invention that I wrote down a couple weeks ago. I just arbitrarily picked it for today because I think it's funny, which maybe someone else invented it already. And, you know, I know that there's the stipulation that if you make something public regarding an invention, you only have 1 year to apply for the patent. So I guess that ruins this one unless I apply for the patent in a year. Maybe this video will force me to do it because I never apply for patents, even though I have tons and tons of inventions, like literally lists and lists and lists of them in my phones over the years, over the decades actually, from this habit of capture. So I'll tell you what today's invention is. It is a storage unit, but not just any storage unit. It goes in a parking garage or a parking spot, any parking spot. Let's say you live in a building and you have underground parking and you don't use your parking spot because you don't have a car. You can put a storage unit in that parking space, but it looks exactly like a car. It's actually the shell of a car with no engine, no seats, no nothing in it, no steering wheel. It's completely hollowed out. Even the wheels are not real wheels, they're just hollowed out. But from the outside looking in, it looks exactly like a car. Nobody could ever be able to tell. Even they could knock on it. It's got like a tin knock sound to it. It's exactly like a car. So when it occupies the parking spot, nobody's the wiser. You know, anybody could come look in the windows. They'd be tinted, so you couldn't really look in. But it's a storage unit. Like I said, everything's hollowed out. Like when you open that door, there is so much room in that car, like all the way down to the tires. Everything is available for you to stuff bags, furniture, big paintings, you know, whatever you want. It's a huge extra, I don't know, a couple square meters, you know, whatever that might be. Let's say like a quarter of a bedroom, something that in a city you might end up paying like $200, $300, $400 a month for. And also the accessibility of it being in your parking spot gives it this added bonus. Plus it's just cool. Like the shell of this car would be very lightweight and inexpensive. You could buy it on Amazon. You know, they could ship it to you in 3 or 4 different parts. You assemble it yourself, or they ship it to you as it is. You know, the whole thing weighs like, you know, 100 pounds or something. It's pretty light, and you put it in your parking spot. You know, later you don't want it, you sell it, or you put it in your driveway. You know, think about how cool an accessory this would be to like your tool shed, you know, your little workshop that you have in your garage. And outside in your driveway, you have this, you know, extra storage space with all these tools, maybe like big machinery units, you know, like wood cutting things, whatever it is. You know, you could even outfit the inside to be like some kind of like mini workshop if you wanted. But look, the point is it looks exactly like a car, except inside it's hollowed out and there's space. You could do whatever you want with that. Shoot, you could make it into a tent. You could make it into an outdoor living space, you know. Whatever, you know, floats your boat, however creative you want to be. It's just empty. And the company that makes it would just sell different models. Usually they would be SUVs because you want to maximize the space. So something with a lot of headroom, you know, not a van, because, you know, people generally don't want to leave like vans sitting around in parking spots for a long time. It generally garners too much attention. So like something that looks classy, like a classy SUV that you would never suspect has been abandoned in that parking spot. So that's the company. That's what they do. You go on their website, you shop, you spend, you know, $400 on this thing. It weighs 100 pounds. It gets shipped the next day and you have a storage unit. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great idea. And, you know, maybe it's an SUV that's like a classy luxury SUV. And you could outfit it with little like Mercedes-Benz hood ornaments and emblems. And people think that you got a Benz. There's, you know, maybe that's not good because then they'll want to rob it and break into it. But no, forget that. Nobody's robbing and breaking it. What am I talking about here? Safety, whatever. Who cares? You guys get the gist of it. That's the invention. Look, my favorite thing about coming up with inventions is that there's no pressure to do them. See, when I tell inventions to awesome people, they always want to get creative and get involved. When I tell inventions to really horrible people, just people I don't really care for, they always want to tell me why it's not feasible. And I always say, look, I'm just playing a game here, like an invention game. It's just a mind exercise. Like, I just want to come up with something. Sometimes I play this game with inventions where I just take any 2 arbitrary concepts and I try to crash them together. Like a particle accelerator, trying to blow up 2 particles when they collide and see what comes out of them. Like, that's what I like to do. Just take any arbitrary ideas. License plate and rain. Those are the two ideas. I just came up with them because there's a license plate on a car in front of me and it's raining. Okay, let's make an invention from that. How about a license plate that changes color in the rain? All right, I mean, it's not the greatest invention, but that's the exercise. Just come up with something. Okay, how about rain and shoes? All right, come on, we can come up with something. Rain and shoes. Okay, how about shoes that are like kids play shoes and they're actually swimming pools? And when you walk around in the rain, they fill up and get heavier and become like pools. And you know, it's ridiculous, but it's something. I don't know, who knows? But that's the game. Come up with inventions. I've always loved to come up with inventions. You know, people say learn languages to keep your mind sharp. Come up with inventions to keep your mind sharp. That's much better. Or maybe it just makes you really dumb. See, this is what I also don't know, is whether I'm sharp or dumb. I guess you guys have to decide. Bye.